Hello, I recorded an introduction to this video which will be about the costumes or the outfits being worn during the Oscars ceremony. But I am just re-recording the beginning bit because I was impressed by the news that the Oscars have they had something like 50% of their usual audience. Now, a few people have said it's because people haven't been going to the cinema and all the rest of it. But no, I know it's because people have lost interest in the entertainment industry as people. It's like sort of the inmates taking over the asylum, isn't it? When there were studio bosses, they controlled the actors, and now the actors have full control. Most of them are as dumb as a stump and come out with all sorts of nonsense. And most people who live life in the real world, as I said, are losing interest. And maybe that's reflected in the outfits they're wearing, because although some of them were truly awful, they were just bad taste. And there were only a couple that were really, really look at me type nonsense. Even the bad taste ones, there were a couple of nonsense ones, but mostly they were just very bad fashion mistakes, not attempts to impress and going wrong. So maybe even the entertainment industry is starting to feel a little bit nervous about its place in the world. It's just a thought I'm pitching out. Anyway, this video, which I made yesterday, is very long, and I'm just going to chop it about so it comes down to a reasonable length. That's the introduction, and now on with the show. Is Brad Pitt looking very smart in his in a very nice suit. Okay, the next picture is of a painfully thin young woman in a dress that appears to be falling apart in the middle. Look, I've noticed this midriff thing before. It's the latest thing, so I assume I'm going to see very similar types of dresses. But look, the girl's very thin. The dress is rather nice, but there's nothing inside it. And I don't know why she would want to show off how thin she is. I mean, I suppose that'll get her movie parts. What's her name? Zendaya. Yeah, it's a lovely colour, and the dress itself is nice. What she's saying with this open stomach thing is, look, there's nothing there. Literally nothing there. I can't imagine that any food went into that area for previous 24 hours. Okay, that's the first one. So there we are. Oh, this is the ladylike look, isn't it? It's nothing exceptional, except I noticed that it's reflecting the carpet, so it probably looks a lot more spectacular. If you look under her bust, you're getting the pink of the carpet, and then the sides of the skirt, you're getting that pink, which is sort of interesting. It means the skirt's reflecting the surroundings. I wonder if she disappears altogether in certain light. Yeah, I know, that's Margot Robbie. Okay, Chanel. Yeah, well, you expect that sort of nice look from Chanel. Now, what's this? Oh, all gold. I think he's decided if he doesn't get an Oscar, he'll just mimic one. What's his name? Leslie Odom Jr. in Cartier jewellery, it says here. Well, I don't see the Cartier, I suppose that ring, but he looks like a piece of Cartier jewellery. I just don't understand. Just a minute. Is he wearing a black sweater under that collar? He is. What's that for? Very odd. And maybe it's for when he rips the whole thing off sometime later in the evening and he's just wearing a black tee underneath, you know, so quick change. I don't know. The shoes aren't bad, actually. I suppose that black collar balances the black shoes. But men do have a problem with shoes. It's always been a problem. I mean, gold shoes would have looked probably better with this. But yeah, well, there you are. It's quite a nicely tailored suit as well. Right. Now, who's this woman? This is Viola Davis. Now, I don't know any of these guys. I knew Brad Pitt, that was about it. This is a strong looking woman. I don't know whether she's an actress or a producer, but if she's an actress, she's the sort that plays very strong roles. That's her physical type, isn't it? It strikes me that, listen, fellas, you have to understand, underneath the strongest, most assertive of women is a princess dying to get out. And that dress is her chance to be the fairy princess. It's a very nice dress. It's not right for her, but I know why she's wearing it. This is her chance to be floaty, you know? I'm sure that's what was going on when she saw herself in that dress. Yes, I'm the fairy princess. As I say, it's a nice dress. It's been well chosen. There's a little white handbag, the silver or diamond jewellery she's wearing. Everything looks really nice. I just think it betrays more about her psychology than maybe she would prefer people to know. Oh, gosh! What's her name? Princess Aura, Ming the Merciless's daughter. Well, she has returned. It's a very well constructed dress, and the colour does suit her. I suppose saying it's a little bit over the top. It's the Oscars after all. Why not? It's got a definite sort of 30s look to it, hasn't it? Okay, who's this? I know that face. Oh, Laura Dern. I know somebody. And that somebody appears to have been wearing a black outfit and she's just got out of a foam bath. Enough said. Oh, Halle Berry. I know her too. Now, that's a woman who really knows how to rock a dress. Now, it looks like there's some sort of a wind machine, or maybe the door just opened. She was taking advantage of that. I don't know what the dress is like when it's at rest, so to speak. And that big bow at the front might make her bulge a little bit when she's just standing up. But the way she's got it now, it's just glorious. And the colour's right for her and her hair's nice. And I like that neckline. It's a plunging neckline, but she can certainly carry that one off. What's this? Amanda Seyfried. And, you know, that dress should work. It looks like she stole it from Mae West. I think the problem is, I mean, the skirt's lovely. The way it fits around the hips is lovely. The waist is nice. I think where it goes wrong is it comes up too high at the front. So it looks like it's a couple of sizes too big for her, which is a shame because it's certainly the glamour that people should be looking for in the Oscars. Yeah. Oh, goodness me. Well, there's a girl who is standing there and she knows she's wearing the wrong dress. Everything about her, her face and her physical disposition, she knows she doesn't look good. Have you noticed the other one, the previous one, that had a lot of little pleats in it, and this one has a lot of little pleats as well. This may be the thing, but pleats, you have to be very careful with them. Now, let's look at this. It looks like something fell and it got tied up. Look how it's pulling under her arm. Now, that shouldn't happen with a tailored dress. I mean, it happens to me, it happens to everyone who just buys off the peg stuff because it's always going to be just a little bit tight somewhere or a little bit loose somewhere else. But that shouldn't happen with a dress that's probably been made specifically for her. And it's awful. It's supposed to be this Greek goddess type of thing, isn't it? It's got a leather belt round the middle, which is totally wrong for a Greek goddess type dress. It's in the material shade. I don't think it's a successful effect. Those pleats just add width to her. They're very shapeless. I noticed there's no corsetry underneath. I'm wondering if I'm going to see more of that, because you see, I have a theory. The yellow dress had no corset, and I think that might be because the dressmakers were having trouble actually getting to see their clients, so they couldn't sculpt the dresses the way they might have done. And it's just a thought, because this really could have done with some corsetry. And yeah, I'm sorry, Ms. Witherspoon, but that's really a failure, that dress. Oh God. Well, I thought that was bad, but HER, I don't know who she is, but she looks like a little girl who was playing with the cat and got caught up in her mum's neck curtains. Okay. Now here's another fairy princess, Maria Bakalova. But obviously she wants this to be her look. It's a nice frilly skirt, and there's this plunging neckline is good. Again, a bare midriff, but it looks a bit spare at the top. She looks a bit waif-like she doesn't really belong in that dress. It makes her look, well, I suppose pale and interesting. Maybe that's what she wanted to look like. Oh, Olivia Colman. Oh, dear Olivia Colman. How you manage to get things wrong every single time. I mean, this requires a certain genius, doesn't it? That is a truly awful dress. She looks like she should be singing Christmas carols in King's College Chapel Choir, and that's about as far as it goes. Again, the skirt is a column shape, so you have to have a slit, but of course that slit goes just a bit too far, and we know you've got legs, love. And those sleeves are in the early 18th, about 1830, they started going in for huge sleeves like this, and they look ridiculous then, and they look ridiculous now. Might be useful if she wants to take a nap on an aeroplane, though. Carey Mulligan. Oh, bare midriff. You see, this gets out of the corsetry thing. I wouldn't be surprised if somebody didn't decide on this as a means of fitting a dress when you can't see your client that easily, or that often. The skirt is lovely. The bandeau top, not so nice. She's very thin, and it just shows off how thin and pale she is, really. Same thing. That skirt's gorgeous. It could do with a decent blouse on top, that's all. Oh, here's another now this one. Oh, and another bare midriff. You see, I'm sure that was a solution to the corsetry problem. The top fits her very well, but then anything would, because there's nothing there. It's the wrong colour for her, and frankly, she looks recently dead. That looks more like a shroud than a dress. It would have looked nicer in a more striking colour. I think she thought, oh, it's a bit, pale. I'll put some really dark lipstick on. That doesn't help at all. Not at all. That dress has possibilities, but they're not followed through. This guy. That reminds me. I've got the plumber coming soon. Okay, who's this? Questlove. He's wearing gold Crocs. Now, he should have given those Crocs to that guy in the gold suit. I'm sure that would have looked splendid. Glenn Close. Good grief. I think that film, she was in Hillbilly Elegy. It was a marvellous film. I recommend it to anyone, by the way. But it looks like her taste has been corrupted by that, because, I mean, this looks like, a woman wearing an overall. Gloves too. Do you know what? I'm going to stay off this, because actually there might be something wrong. She might be hiding something. Why is she wearing gloves and trousers underneath the dress? I don't know, there's something up there. Andra Day. What is that woman wearing? Again, the open midriff. There was a Peter Cook and Dudley Moore sketch in which they played the two working men who didn't know anything. You know, I mean, there's nothing who hates the working class more than a couple of socialists. Now, they were looking at some artwork, Rubens' women or whatever, and one of them was speculating that the artist would have had to have waited ages for the material to just drape over the right part of the body and then get painting really quickly. That's what this is, truly just dreadful. Just and it's got this train out the side. How does she walk in it? And it doesn't show off her legs to good advantage either. Almost all women have a little bit of weight right at the top of their thighs, and this is cut just to show that off. No, that was a big mistake. It's a shame because the hair's actually rather nice and a very pretty face, what I can see. This particular photo is quite small. I'm going to try blowing it up when I put it up there, so it might be more obvious. Jamaica Wilson. Wrong, wrong, wrong. Wrong, wrong, wrong. I mean, she's matched her lipstick to the dress, but that dress is a column shape, and that woman ain't no column. It's sort of, you know, the one over the shoulder thing, slightly Greek goddess inspired. Perhaps that's a thing now as well. But you know, you don't see Greek goddesses that shape, so it's totally wrong. No. Oh gosh, Corey Ray. Who is this? It looks like he fell into a vat of dye. Actually, there used to be an ice cream. It wasn't an ice cream. Yeah, it was an ice cream. When I was a kid, it was one of those ice creams on a stick. We call them lollies. In Australia, I know a lolly is a boiled sweet, isn't it? And a popsicle in America, different names for all of them. But in Britain, there was he called a mivvy or something? Anyway, that's what it looked like. But I don't find that at all appetizing. Who's this guy? Oh, well, if you can't be bothered to dress, I can't be bothered to talk about you. Right, who's this? Michelle Kutelench. Kutelench? I don't know. Okay, now here's an example of a mistake with a nice dress. We've got a lot of frilly material at the skirt, and that's nice, and the top is very elegant, except she's got a rather thick waist. Either that or the dress is making it look thick, because the top meets the waistband at just the wrong point, and that's quite possible. It's a shame because actually it would be a nice dress. It requires a smaller waist or a higher waist. If it were up underneath her bust, you know, like a sort of empire line, that would probably be all right as well. Or if she had corsetry, there is no corsetry under that dress. That's not holding her in. And so you can see where the waistband goes in and her flesh comes out a little bit over the top, forces the blouse out, or the blouse is doing that and makes it look that way. All of these women, I'm talking about them being fleshy. I think they're probably a lot slimmer than me. But I am talking I'm not criticizing anyone for having a little too much covering. There's far too many people who are far too thin in this industry, but you don't actually do things that emphasize various figure faults most of us have. That's why these models diet so much. That's why they're so thin, because when you're really thin, most of these faults don't show up. But as soon as you start to put on a little bit of fat, it will go in a certain area and then it will show up. If you can hear groaning in the background, it's the dog. Don't know who this is, but he's got a problem that a lot of men have. Narrow trousers and big feet, and it just looks wrong. And I honestly don't know how you get round that. But yeah, James Reed, whoever he is. Now, another column dress, and again, the wrong shape woman for it. Lauren Domino. Just wrong in every way. This is even worse than the others, and that soft material just shows off. Everybody thinks they're Greek goddesses now. Who's this? Ashton Sanders. Now, here's a very good example. He's a tall, slim man. Obviously thinks he's very cool. And just look at the size of those feet. Now, look, men have big feet, so it's a bit of a problem though when you're wearing very narrow cut trousers because your feet look just gigantic. The wider trousers do tend to hide some of that, but then the fashion seems to be for very narrow trousers now. Who's this? Now, Sophia Sonderva. That's a nice dress. She's not standing properly, so it's not showing the dress off. But I'll tell you what, she's not wearing any corsetry either. It doesn't even look like she's wearing a bra, and that's spoiling the line of that dress quite badly. It's a shame. I think that dress could be made more of, but it needs more standing up, and probably it needs a bit more support. Okay. Oh my God. I get onions in a bag like that. Sophia Nali, Allison. Nope. Okay. Oh, this is nice. Little bit beachy, but Elvira Lind. Yeah, I like that. And she's got everything just right, hasn't she? The black and white, and her hair looks good. Very nice. That's a mask, a pink mask. Well, yeah, if you've got to wear a mask, then, and she's got pink shoes and a pink handbag. She's that's rather cute, actually. Yes, very nice. Yeah, I like that. Who's this? They should have taken a photo after she'd gone to the toilet, I suppose. That's Sophie Newton and James Newton Howard. This dress. Now, that reminds me of, I don't know where she is. It looks like she's in somebody's back garden. Perhaps there's a barbecue going on, but that dress, I know where. That is the early 1500s. That's almost, I'll find you a picture of a dress of a royal lady from the early 1500s, and you'll see they had this, in those days it was like 2 layers. That flowery bit would have been an inside dress. Oh, it is. It's an inside dress. Yeah, it is an inside dress. And then the other skirt would come out, and there'd be these puffed sleeves, and the neckline was sort of curved up, just like she has. And actually, it's rather a nice dress. It suits her. I think the execution of the making of it could have been better, but yeah, and it's definitely a hark back to the very late Middle Ages. How interesting. Another dress with a slash, and she's doing her best to hide the fact. Anne Rimoyne is doing her best to hide the fact that she doesn't really suit that sort of a figure-hugging dress. So she's standing the right way, so it looks nice. But if she turned round, she'd look, especially if she turned her back to you, it would probably look rather lumpy. I do not see the point of that slash, actually. It serves no purpose at all. If you could put your dinner napkin in there, I suppose. And it doesn't look nice round her arms. It's too dark. So the contrast between the whiteness of her arms and the fact that she's not in her first flush of youth, it just draws attention to that. Now, who's this? Looks like she's channeling her inner Indian. I'm referring to the American Indian. I don't know who this actress is. Garrett Bradley. Well, that doesn't sound like a very Indian name, but certainly she's got that look. The dress itself is quite nice. I think maybe it's the hair that sort of makes it look a bit boho. It's not bad, and the colour suits her. And it's difficult to tell because, yeah, there's either that door's open or there's a wind machine there, and maybe the ladies were told to wear flowy dresses because there would be a wind machine. And I don't know. Also, if you notice again, there's no corsetry there, and she doesn't appear to be wearing a bra. Or at least she doesn't appear to be wearing a bra. That's what I should say. So there might be some support in there, but definitely it's less than we had in previous times I've done this. Oh, this what a lovely dress that is. Ah, and she looks so good in it as well. A lot of people can't carry off the gold, but you know, that suits her hair colour and very nice. Yes. That guy's looking very proud of himself. Yeah, I'm sure he is. Now, who's this? Oh, that's Paulina Porish Porishkova. So that would be Paulina Porishkova and Aaron Sorkin. Oh, wow. Mia Neal. Now, this is a very unusual dress, but it's not weird. It's just very good tailoring. I don't know if that's a slit up the side, or if it's difficult to tell, or if the rest of the skirt goes round and there's a train at the back. But this woman has, I mean, she is quite, well covered, but the dress falls, it's a column dress again, but this is an example of how you can wear a column dress and look good, even if you are a little bit curvy. Because the dress irons it out, and especially with this collar going, which of course is what you look at, and you look at her face, which is a very pretty face, and you look at the collar, and then your eye goes down the side following the line of that starlight, this Milky Way of stars down the side of the gown, and it is just gorgeous. Well done, Miss Neal. Now, who's this fellow? Dunno, but he's in the same garden. Maybe they're both at the barbecue. Terence Blanchard. Okay, there is no corsetry in this. If Alice in Wonderland were wearing a red dress, that's what she'd look like. It's just awful. It does not flatter her in any way. You know, I do not understand. These people have access to the most glamorous clothing in the world. They have designers just giving them stuff so they'll wear it and advertise their wares. I mean, if I don't know what designer gave her that dress, or that but I wouldn't go to that designer if I found out who it was. If ever you're trying to make a woman look really dumpy, that's about as dumpy as you could get in a red dress. She's shocking. Somebody must have convinced that poor woman that she looked sweet in it. Now, this is a nice suit. It's not really more country than evening do, but yeah. But again, you see here, you've got these, slightly bandy, they look like bandy legs. It's not, it's just the way the material is falling. But these very narrow trousers that bunch up on top of the great big feet. I don't know how men get around that, but I would suggest a wider trouser with a split up the front so it falls properly over either side of the shoe. Maybe you design, if any designer is watching this, have a think about it. Michael Gouvier. Michael Gouvier. Suit. That woman shouldn't be wearing black. And that plunging neckline, again, I'm telling you, corsetry, it's to do with the lockdown. I'm getting more and more convinced of it. It's another Greek goddess thing, and she needs a bit more structure in her clothes. And her hair looks terrible. She looks like she's just got out of the bath. Mind you, so does he. What a mess. And it's a shame. They look like nice people. But who's this? Kathy Featherstone. Now, that dress might be all right. No, it isn't. No. First of all, have you noticed how the top is biting into the top of her bust? That, again, is a problem that should not happen when you are making a dress for somebody. You should be able to make it so it stands away. This is shop-bought stuff that shouldn't happen. I'm not too sure about that thing over the side of her shoulder as well. It doesn't look that good here, and I'm not sure how good it would look even the other way around. And her hair is a mess, and she shouldn't be wearing those glasses, really. You could probably afford a pair of contact lenses, darling. I mean, when I started rolling this picture up, it looked like somebody's secretary. Now, who's this? Will Burson. I don't know who you are, Wilburson. You have a very attractive lady there and you're looking very pleased with yourself. I'd be faithful if I were you, because I think she's just about the best you can get. However, I don't like that dress that much. Again, another Greek goddess thing. Why is everybody going around thinking they're Greek goddesses? There's too much frill there. And red as well. That seems to be the colour du jour, doesn't it? It's okay. It's okay. It's a little bit unrelieved, a little bit much of a muchness. And there's so much of it, it's probably, it, it misses. It misses. Who's this lady? Judy Hoyman. Well, yeah, looks fine to me. Yeah, they're just, I mean, she's obviously in a wheelchair, so you can't get up and see much. But what she's got looks right for the situation. It's also right for her colouring. Oh, really? Another one of these. It's another Greek goddess dress in exactly the wrong colour for that woman. Why she looks so pleased for herself with that drained white face and that draining coloured dress, I do not know. As a matter of fact, the dress itself is quite nice, but it's completely the wrong colour. If it were like green or maybe yellow or I don't know, red might have been a bit strong for, but something along those lines. Gold would be good. But that is just awful. David Rubin and Dawn Hudson. That's Dawn Hudson. Oh, really? Who's this? Rita Moreno. Oh, she's got just the right stuff on. Just the right stuff. Everything. Look at that necklace. Look at the short, the bolero, whatever it is, in case it's big. Now, look, you see that top there. You see how it's the same sort of top as I was talking about before, but it's not biting into her in any way. She got it right. Very nice. Very nice. Oh. Who's this? Erin Kruger Mekash wearing Morticia Adams' wedding dress. Or, oh, God, this is getting worse and worse. Enrica Rivino. Now, is that Rivinoja? Again, I'm trying, but okay, look here. She appears to be quite thin. Maybe that's her lunch in that bag she's carrying. Is that a shrimp? Either a shrimp or a bloodstain sample box. What is that thing? The column skirt again. There's this vague echo. Here's those pleats and a vague echo of the Greek goddess look. But that top there is. She looks like a purple mushroom. All right, who's this? Okay, fair enough. Have you noticed how the men are standing? I've noticed they tend to sort of stand like that, all butch. Somebody must have told them it looks good. Oh, here's another one standing all butch. And he looks okay, actually. Who is he? Riz Ahmed. Okay. Oh, goodness me. Colleen Labaf. I mean, this is a woman who's just given up. Her hair's a mess. She is not wearing a bra. There is no structure in that dress. It's just awful. The colour's not bad for her. It's just awful. Those panels just, and then, so you see that band round her waist, the velvet band, and then there's like a sort of mesh. I suppose the top is mesh and velvet. So there's a mesh bit before the skirt starts. It just starts at the point where her belly, her lower abdomen is poking out a bit. Either it's poking out or it's just the way the material is poking out, but that's what it looks like. Terrible, terrible, terrible. Don't do that again, Colleen. I mean, somewhere in there's a nice face and possibly a very nice figure as well. Oh dear, who's this? Dan Janvi. Okay. Again, these narrow trousers, they make men look sort of blimp shape. It's the fashion. I don't suppose they could get away with anything else. Oh, this is a nice dress. Kautha Ben Hania. Oh, that's a lovely dress. Isn't that nice? There's some structure to the waist. Again, not heavily corseted, by the way. And yeah, it's just nice. I suppose there's a kick pleat at the back so she can walk because it's quite a narrow thing. She's got these sort of pearl or applique or something on the shoulder, and then a little bag that echoes that. Very nice. Oh, and something in her hair. Again, the hair's not that good, and I didn't pay attention before, but a lot of the people there, the hair's not that good. But then, you know, they might not be able to legally do elaborate hairstyles at the moment in California. But that's a lovely dress, and the colour's just right for her as well. She looks really nice. Yeah. Oh my goodness me. Do you know what? I have a Japanese kimono, a house coat in hang on. I'm just going to get it. I'm just going to go away. Here. It's a Japanese men's house coat. There's a special name for it. But I pinched it off my husband because it's sort of useful. Anyway, this is it. You see? It's got the same sort of gold look and stripes. Okay, hang on. Well, that's what that is. And quite frankly, I think this one looks better. Okay, that is terrible. And just look how it makes her stomach bulge. No. Who is this one? Bianca Oana. Oh, and again, that's those pleats. I see. The material isn't stripy. It's all pleated. And one side of the pleat is black, the other side is gold. Just stay away. You know, I tell you to stay off satin, ladies. Stay off pleats. Pleats are really to be used with great care. Let's put it that way. Yeah, pleats tend to bulge at the sides when the material is moved. The whole thing sort of bulges sideways. Anyone who's got, you know, I got a skirt with that was pleats from the waistband down, just stuck out over my hips. I ended up giving it to my granddaughter as a dress-up thing. Molly Asher. The only accessories missing from this outfit are a candle, a large wooden crucifix, a bell, and a candle. Another Greek goddess column dress, Jenna Friedman, and so this has a slash in it, like the others have slashes across the belly or the chest. This one has a slash from the shoulder. You know what? I think all these designers, they all get together and they decide, right, this year we're all going to do slashes. So you see the dress is slashed at the skirt, which is sort of an echo of the slash on the top. However, it doesn't go in the same direction and it's not the same shape. Now, if she'd had something like that, say just below the knee, and it had a slightly rounded edge to it, it might have been a more honest job. And, you know, the dress itself, it's simple and she's got a nice, neat figure and all the rest of it. Oh, it's also far too long for her. All right. Oh, now, this is interesting. Trish Somerville, looking, I don't know what, not particularly, very 1930s, sort of the late 30s, the early 40s, you know, sort of the evening dresses didn't look so feminine. And this is not a feminine evening dress. It's not bad. I think maybe you see how the black bit comes just up almost to the top of her hip. It should be lower to slim down her figure, because as it is, it's making, and she knows that because the way she's standing, she's got a hand in front of her hip at that point to narrow it down. If she'd have stuck, if the black had been a little bit further down, that problem would have been solved. Anyway, it's not bad, and she could always use it afterwards, because all she has to do is cut it at the knee and she's got a business dress for the rest of the year. Now, who's this? Oh, look at those narrow trousers and big feet. I'm not criticising him, that's the style, but, you know, and the smoking jacket. All right. Now, this guy, no, hang on, who was that? Sam Ashworth. Okay. This guy, Atticus Ross. I mean, he's taking the butch stance a little bit too far, I think. What on maybe it's made of very scratchy wool. Dana Murray and Pete Docter. I'll start with the nice part of that dress. The top is lovely. And again, you see, it's not biting into her top. So it's been properly tailored, which makes it all the more weird at what the tailor did to the lower half of the dress, because quite frankly, it looks like she ate too much broccoli just before coming out. I shall say no more. Another butch stance. Trent Reznor. Okay, who's this? Now, these people. Now, Chloe Zhao, I know her. I mean, she's a director and very highly respected. And that's a nice dress. It's the wrong colour for her. Again, they've gone for this draining fawn nondescript colour. Why is she wearing those shoes? I mean, honestly, really, she could get some nice, flat, sensible shoes that don't look like she's just walked to the hotel and forgot to change into the formal shoes. And that woman there, well, you know, you see women like that at weddings all over the United Kingdom. I don't know about in America. There's a standard mother of the bride type outfit, this, isn't it? It's very unimaginative. It suits her in that sort of way, but I think she could have done better. Oh, that's a nice dress. Now, again, you're slightly Greek goddessy, you know, with the off-the-shoulder thing, but they've done this properly. And again, there's not quite so much corsetry in this dress, so the woman's waist is wider than I saw the waists last year. Ben Browning. So he's not the guy. I mean, that's Ben Browning. That's his companion, wife. I don't know, whatever. But she knows how to dress. Certainly. That's very nice. Who's this? Michael Scheuermann. Again, narrow trousers, big feet. Okay. Oh dear. And this is the narrow trousers and big feet par excellence, isn't it? No. Who is this guy? John Baptiste. Not at all nice. It just doesn't work. I can see why he did it. He thought it looked sharp. No. And then what's that red thing? I don't know what that red thing is on there, but and there's something else there. They sort of interfere with it. But then, of course, you don't really want to look at that suit too long anyway, do you? Who's this? Oh, now this again, the butch stance. Hang on, yeah, he's doing the butch stance, Jean Baptiste, and this guy Eric O. He's doing the butch stance as well, but his feet are a bit smaller, so he looks fine. What's this? This is Celeste Waite. I was going to say that dress is a little bit severe. What is that? She's got a sort of anatomical heart in her hand. I suppose that's a clutch bag. But my goodness me, she looks like Snow White's evil stepmother. Here we have another Stacey Walker King and Charles D. King. Now, Stacey Walker King is obviously not a frail little thing. I don't know whether she's an actor or a producer or a businesswoman of some sort, but she's obviously the sort who gets the strong roles, whatever she does. And then she's wearing a fairy dress. And I'm telling you, fellas, you know, inside the toughest woman, she might kill him in the office, but when she's bargaining for well, if she's an agent, when she's bargaining for her clients or as an actress bargaining for her own part in the film, but she wants to be a fairy princess, really. They're very nice couple. I like his suit as well, sort of, you know, the matching shoes and the lapels and the shirt, you know, it's rather nice. But it betrays something about that Stacey Walker King, which she probably doesn't get to show too often. Let's see. Oh, again, narrow trousers, big feet. Sean Faden, I suppose. Who are these two? Oh, well, one of them, Bert Hamlink, and I don't know which one he is, but the one who's wearing the white sneakers could have found himself some better shoes. Oh dear, who's this? Now this guy, Stuart Besser, he's not wearing white sneakers, but he is wearing lifts, or rather very thick crepe-soled shoes, which amount to the same thing. Let's see. Who's this? Jeremy Mullard. That suit is at least one size too big for him. And the shoes look old as well. Goodness me, the shoes are wrong. I mean, they're the sort of, loafers, aren't they? And the suit, I wonder if he just borrowed that stuff from a friend. Oh, there, who's this? Elizabeth Keenan. That's a nice outfit. It's, smart. Again, she's wearing the same lifts that other guy was wearing. Yeah, but I'd have got nicer shoes, Miss Keenan, but there's no denying that jacket and the trousers, it's a nice, elegant set. This is a nice, what my mother would have called a handsome couple once. Yes, and that's a very nice dress, as much as I could see of it. Yeah, they look very good, those two. Who's this? Mikkel E.G. Nielsen. Well, this is funny because the last one I did on fashion, somebody else was wearing a 1940s type suit that didn't have enough padding in the shoulders to hold the shape. And this guy is doing the same. It's just not padded enough to take the shape. So the whole thing looks like a sack tied up in the middle, and he's not wearing a tie. And the sleeves on the suit are the right length, but his shirt is very long. So it looks like the whole thing shrank in the wash. It's terrible. Who's this? Now, Yoon Yu Jung. I believe she's a well-known, she's a Korean actor, isn't she? Actor and producer. The dress might have been all right if she'd have had some jewellery round her neck, but it's such a plain dress and has slightly overall-y type quality to it. The basic image of this striking young woman in the red dress with a slight Cheong Sam type look to it, and that other woman next to her in the plain dress, it looks like she's got her ayah with her, doesn't it? Her nanny. And it doesn't do Yoon Yu Jung credit, that dress. She's a more important woman than that dress is showing. Oh, goodness me, Nicolette Robinson. Now, first of all, that dress was fashionable 2 years ago, but no longer. So she's got everything wrong. And I'm sorry, but I can see cellulite there. She shouldn't be wearing a dress that shows off, that sort of thing. Altogether, that dress is a disaster, a complete disaster. I'm just trying to think, how bad could you make a dress? And all in black as well. Look at that. And with social distancing, of course, the fact that those sleeves trail on the ground won't matter because nobody's going to get near enough to her. I do love that. I do love that shoulder and the neckline. That's beautiful. Oh, that's gorgeous. Well, for every gorgeous, there's one. That is awful. It looks like she's just wrapped herself in a toilet roll. What more can I say? And she looks, what does she look like? She reminds me of something. Yeah, a bedspread. I've seen bedspreads like that. You see them in cheap hotels, don't you? All right. Oh, this is a nice dress. Very nice. Now you see how that doesn't bite in anywhere. That's how they should go. And I like the fact that it's got a pocket. That's always very useful. And it suits her. Very nice. Laura Pausini. Who's this? Thomas Winterberg and Helen Reingard Neumann. Is she pregnant, do you think? I mean, she might be pregnant, which would account for the shapelessness of that dress. But even if you're pregnant, there's no excuse for turning up in a house coat. You see, here you've got a blue sky type dress with like stars on it. What a difference from the other one I showed before. I'll try and get that picture up again, you know, with that wonderful star collar and the thing. You know, that is the same basic concept. Just look at the difference. Ah, here's another well-covered young lady. Emerald Fennel in Gucci, and she wants to be, you know, she might be a quite substantial girl who gets, I don't know if she's an actress, but if she is, she gets the second part, you know, the witty sidekick and that sort of thing. But she wants to be a wood elf, doesn't she? Look at her. It's a pretty dress. I suggest it doesn't suit her, but that's probably what she has inside her heart. Oh, this guy, who's this? Daniel Pemberton, who's doing a pretty good takeoff of the penguin. And this nice dress, who's this? Lee Isaac Chung and Valerie Chung. Yep, very nice. Another Greek goddess, wrong colour, Madeline Sharafian. And definitely no bra on that one. And she could do with one, I'm afraid. It's either that or the way the dress is draping. I think probably the skirt is like a sort of fold over thing. So you get this kick when you're walking, and otherwise when you're standing, it sort of comes in. And it's quite a nice dress. I suggest possibly better foundation garments. And him, oh gosh, this is a woman. Diane Warren. Oh dear. I don't know what she wants to be. I don't know Diane Warren, so I don't know whether she actually does want to be a man or whether she's just wearing this for effect. Yeah, I don't really know what to say about that because it's a mess. If it's somebody who wants to be a man, it's a mess. If it's somebody who wants to be a woman, it's still a mess. It's just wrong. I don't know. But I do like the high-heeled shoes. They're the good things. Right, he's doing the butch stance again. And his trousers are a bit wider, so you don't have that spiky look. So that's not bad. This guy, now, Ernst de Meyler Emile II. Well, he's wearing like a sort of slightly African type outfit, and his lady is also wearing a slightly African type outfit. Unfortunately, it doesn't work that well. Have you noticed how the top of that dress is just pushing into her bust? It's not nice. It should be either up or, you know, or better supported. And it's apparently see-through, and she's wearing black underwear, and I shouldn't think that whole thing looks nice when you can see it properly. In the way she is, the position she is now, she looks gorgeous. But I'm not so sure about the dress when she's standing up. It could have been a good look, and she's got the right shape for it. But that underwear there, I don't like that. Oh dear, who's this? Trayvon Free and Zaria. Now, his hair matches his lapels. If you're going to do that, then you're... Just a minute, the phone. Right, sorry about that. Right, let's get back to this. Where was I? This is Trayvon Free and Zaria, or Zaria. Now, let's just do a thing on these. His hair, culturally appropriated, is matches his lapel tie and the pocket flaps on his suit, and he couldn't be bothered to get gold or yellow laces for his sneakers, which I am not impressed about. That's the first thing. And the second thing is that woman is wearing underwear and toilet paper, and she looks terrible. I'm sorry, she just looks awful. I think she thinks that's sexy. I think it looks a mess. And she's got very high heels, which means she's even shorter than she looks. And I'm sorry, a naughty thought occurred to me. And I just thought, how? But I'll carry. Oh my goodness me, Tiara Thomas. She is dressed like a pimp in a 1970s film. That is just amazing. I half expected to smile and show a gold tooth. All right. Oh God, hang on. He's wearing a similar. Goodness me, he's wearing this guy here, Chelsea Gabriel Rowe and Martin Desmond Rowe. So he is wearing a very similar suit to Trayvon Free. Here, I'll put that up. So it's about the same idea. I wonder if when they meet each other, they glare. You know, you're wearing my suit. But his gold highlights are made of the sort of flock wallpaper you used to get in the 1970s in houses that tried to be pretentious. It doesn't work, and neither does the dress his lady is wearing. She's wearing this old-fashioned corset thing, which wasn't nice even then and now is out of style. And because of all the flounces in the skirt, her hips look absolutely huge. I'm quite sure they aren't, but they really look big in this photograph. And it's just the dress. There's so many layers and bits to it. And okay. Oh no, another ice cream. And this one, you know, I mean, if you're going to have trousers that tight and feet that big, then please get your shoes to match the suit in some way. And what's that at the top? It looks like the top of the suit is actually see-through. Like the material's been woven in such a way that it's either that or it's been made to look like it's see-through. And it may look great close up, but oh dear, oh dear, oh dear. And for my last trick, Ariana DeBose. Now, well, it's nice to end on a high note. You see, it's sort of obvious that this woman got that dress last year for the Oscars that didn't happen. So she put it in storage and the moths got at it. Why not treat yourself or a favoured relative or friend to these magnificent examples of merch? The mugs and t-shirts come in the Granni Optrix design or Granbo with a firearm or the more deadly knitting needles. Go to www.grannioptrix.com and whatever platform you're watching this on, please click like, subscribe and share.